Manchester City are still alive here. Balotelli, Aguero! Calls it quickly, Origi!
What's up?
Yo.
Okay, hey, welcome to another episode of the cool down.
Oh my goodness, I think we've got a new guy who's taking over the intros. You did that far better than I could ever do that. Wow. Amazing. Do it again. I liked it, Silo. Sorry. You're the new cool down guy. I can't believe it. That's
No,
it.
man.
Can you get
Just record it and press play as soon as it says Aguero, whatever. Then you just press play. It says welcome to another episode of the cool down.
I like that it's left like a little bit of an imprint in your mind though. It means it's working. We need to keep going. Next week is your turn.
Definitely, it's in my mind, man. It's there, man. You know what I mean? I think after you so many shows, it's just there.
Yeah. Guys, I've got a special guest today, and it's nothing like Prince last week, but it's a bit of a Mozambican guest, Doijem, given to me by De Valier, my neighbor, for lending him a book. And I must say, I'm very pleased to have this tonight. There's also some competition happening, but like I said, it's been a long day, so it's a nice little icebreaker chat with you guys and a nice Doijem. Have you guys ever had this, by the way?
I'm trying to think. Which ones I've had? No, I've not. I've had the one from Zambia. I've had the one from Zambia, Zambezi, whatever. Yeah, that's the only one from around SADC countries that I've had.
Well, this one's quite nice. It's not too heavy. Mwanga, you might enjoy it, even though you don't drink. Just saying.
Don't be that guy, man. Wanga's gonna be the designated driver on a night out of Goal Lounge TV.
Yeah, most team builds is gonna always your designated driver for all the team builds. But I must say, Wonga, out of all the weekends to need something to drink, did you feel like you needed something to drink after the result on Saturday?
Yo, I mean, watching that was long. Yeah, I mean, look, watching that was bad. It was horrible. I needed something. I needed something.
Yeah, you needed something. But Wonga, man,
definitely needed something.
That was like such a not such a weak performance, eh? You know, someone was saying it. I can't remember who was saying it. Someone was saying that Arsenal will give you a performance where they beat Chelsea, and or Spurs when you guys beat them, and then they'll also give you a performance where Liverpool just outclasses them or another team just outclasses them. You know what I mean? And it's just like you're like asking yourself like, where to for Arsenal? You know what I mean? You know, you've got your captain who's thinking that he's a member of a rap group. Changing his head.
I don't know what's going on there.
Guys, let's talk about that hairstyle, guys. Let's talk about that. That's like a midlife crisis, bro. Wonga, what's happening, bro? That hairstyle, bro.
I don't know, man. Look, when I first saw the hairstyle, I was just like, gee whiz, how is he gonna play in that? How is he gonna see? That's all that concerned me.
That's what I was thinking.
Because I need the guy to score goals.
Not to change hairstyles.
Yeah, so that was really concerning. But I mean, look, I saw the headband, and I was like, okay, no, maybe it could work. But look, they didn't get the ball, so I mean, you could really see whether the hairstyle was affecting him or not. Because he hardly touched the ball. They were literally good a good 40 minutes. I think it was the second half where I forgot that Bobby was playing. I don't think he touched the ball. I don't think he touched the ball.
But how many of the Arsenal players were playing that day? I don't know if they were up for what Arteta needed them to do, or I mean, it was poor, man. Look, and the goals we scored. Louise.
But yeah.
Darren, what's good, my man? Thank you for joining us yet again. This guy's here, guys. He's here.
How's it, Darren?
And I agree with him. He says Liverpool might go on a bit of a run now. I did tell you, Selo. I said now, top 4 is a huge possibility for us. Huge possibility.
But I never said you guys were out of it. I just what's this? Jot to the slaughter. He's the one who's gonna get you to top four, man. Jota the Schlotter as is it Murray, right?
Matty.
Is it
Matty.
Matty
Yeah.
Murphy? Matty Murphy. As
Yeah.
Matty Murphy said, Jota the Schlotter. 2 goals,
Yeah, yeah.
like I put Diogo Jota into my fantasy team on Friday. On Friday, I put him into my fantasy team. You know
I
why I put
triple
him in my
captained
fantasy?
him.
Did you? Well
Yeah,
done.
I did.
I didn't triple captain him. My captain was still Kane, but I
Yeah.
did put Jota in my team starting lineup, and I just knew he was gonna score. I wish I actually put some money on it because I just knew even if he didn't start, I was like, no man, this guy's gonna come
No,
on.
he's something else. He's in that moment.
But do you think that you guys win the game without Jota coming on?
No, I don't think so. I think he like even the goal, the third goal that he comes in there, Mane turns and Mane was maybe could have gotten a foot onto it, but it was always going to be hard work for him. But his desire and his hunger to get into that box and to just make the goal his own. Yeah, I don't know. I just love the boy, and I think Matty sent me a picture with the shirt, and it had his face on it, and it said Diego Jota the Slaughter. So, and also I wonder, Wonga, he said he sent you a message. Did you get Matty's message? Eh? Did you get it?
On where?
I don't know. He said probably on Twitter. He probably tweeted you, but he said straight after the game, all the way from Liverpool, he just reminded you that the score was going to be a 3-0 winner. That's what he said. And I told you guys this weekend was a good weekend for Liverpool. Remember I said that on Thursday. I just had a feeling it was going to be a good weekend for Liverpool, and it was. Chelsea getting thumped.
The thing is, I won't lie to you guys. For me, yes, it's frustrating supporting this Arsenal team, bro. Because after every game, it's always like, no, the guys didn't listen to the manager. The manager knows what he's doing, but the players don't listen. It's every game. Then you hear the players say, "Oh no," before a match, they interview them and they're saying, "No, there's a big game." They understand, they understand what needs to be done. The manager's planned well. Then they go out there and they play like that. Even against West Ham, we were 3-0 down, but I even thought, look at West Ham now against Wolves. Even they let go of the lead. They were close to letting that lead go again. And I also felt that Arsenal, we scored. We did well to come back, but I just felt like West Ham were also allowing it to happen. They were the team doing the wrong, and we were fortunate that they were actually playing like that. Had them another day, and that game would have been dead. And I just feel even when Arsenal win it, for me, it's just not. I don't know. Yeah, Saka plays well. I think maybe that's probably the problem. Maybe it's just we're relying too much on one player. Last year it was a Aubameyang. Oba was firing us, and he kept. If he didn't score, I think they said we would have finished bottom half of the table. And now he's playing down the wing. He's not seeing anything. It hardly works. It's 1 or 2 games where it works, and then it just doesn't work with him down the wing. And I think Arteta's trying to please Aubameyang and Lacazette, and I think he might have to. I think he might just find himself playing the two again, playing one and not the other. That's what
I got a question. I think Carragher's come out saying that Aubameyang might be the next Özil at Arsenal, a player on high wages, just going through the motions, not giving a shit. When you watch a game like that, and you're like, look, what?
Claudio, no.
You disagree?
They can't say that. No, because people like saying this thing about Mesut Ozil. He does it like he was lackadaisical and all that stuff. He didn't like running, but if you go look at there was the last World Cup Ozil played. I think he was the player who ran the most in his team in terms of distance. Yeah. And then even now when he came to Arsenal, I think he's always finished top assist. Always had the top assists playing at Arsenal. When he played, and then there was that thing from China, and obviously then obviously that just messed up everything when he had those that tweets and stuff. But I think people have this misconception because of the way Ozil, his eyes look like this, and the way he plays.
Okay, all right.
They have this misconception that he runs like that. They can't.
But let's not get too fixated on the lazy bit. What the whole Ozil sort of conundrum is, or when we're using it as a metaphor, it's more like a player who's on big wages, not really contributing. Obviously, his situation was political in the end, but a player on big wages where you're expecting to lead the line, to carry the team, and wasn't doing it. Now, again, we can say Saturday's game, Liverpool are somewhat looking a bit more of their old selves, having Fabinho. By the way, Fabinho, absolute class in centre mid. Huge difference when he plays there, guys. Man of the match, day in, day out, controls the midfield, protects the back four. He just able to provide options. And also, guys, what about that big stuff Trent Alexander gave Gareth Southgate over the weekend? Thoughts on that? Do you think after that he should be called up for England, or do you think they're just going to leave him out of the squad altogether?
No, I think he should be always included in the squad, man. I think the problem here is England is obviously blessed with a lot of right backs, right? And you just have to find the balance, right? Even if Trent doesn't start for England, but he needs to be in the squad for England. You know what I mean? I think, Reece James needs to fall out, and then obviously Walker is the experienced one, or Trippier is the experienced one. So you obviously, if you're picking Walker, Trippier, and Trent, that's three solid players. Walker can play as right centre back, which he's done before for England, and then you got Trippier and Trent who can vie for the right wing back position if you're playing a back three. But if you're playing a back four as well, you've got three options, and then you pick two on the left back side, and then you pick four centre backs, and then you're okay. But then also it's all about the balance as well. It might, you picking what is it, 2, 8, 9 defenders. It might not be ideal, because then you're overcompensating by actually having one more right back than you probably do need to have. So you can then you might be killing an attacking position rather than, what are you doing? So you're going to do eight defenders or 9 defenders. You know what I mean? It also depends on the system that you use. So I think Trent definitely needs to be in the conversation. Reece James needs to fall out, and Trent ahead of Reece James, and then with Walker and Trippier.
Yeah, I think in terms of Trent, I think Trent. I think it's all Southgate. I think it's just the way he plays. I don't think Trent is going to be that much different to the guys defensively. Probably worse off than the other selections. But
well, that's the thing, right? I think that's a valid point, Wonga. I think that's what they're gambling on. They're going, Gareth Southgate's going, okay, I'm going to the tournament. I need to get results, and we know how they're going to set up. They're not going to be looking to play expansive football, possession-based football. They're going to try and keep it tight, wait for the counter-attacks, play your Rashfords, play your Harry Kanes. That's what they're going to be looking at. And when he's thinking like that, I mean, you can't see a Trent Alexander being considered ready. He's going to go with someone who's more solid defensively. I think even in that scenario, Wan-Bissaka's got a better chance. Sorry, Wonga, you're saying.
Yeah, true. Look, in terms of defending, I think, Wan-Bissaka's got a better chance. But again, you see, if you've got players like Vardy and Harry, especially if you've got a striker like Vardy, it's definitely Trent can find him from the defense, quick counter, play Vardy in, and they're probably on goal. I mean, there's no one in the league in England, let me say it like that. There's no one in England that can find the pass like
from defense like him,
Arnold. No, from true. Defense, I mean, from anywhere. It doesn't have to be on one. It's literally from anywhere to anywhere on the field. That's how good he is. You can switch play left to right. You can play a ball straight ahead of him, play a ball across. You can play it down the middle, and literally his ball's in the front. All a striker has to do when he crosses the ball is touch it once. He doesn't even need to control it. Touch it once and it's at the back of the net. But he has to. Southgate has to answer that. I mean, does he need it defensively, or does he want to go up front?
There's a guy I follow, a guy from United Stand. So he's a big England fan, and he was saying, like, you have to have your best attacking right back crossing it to one of the best strikers in the world. Like, that's just a match made in heaven. Why are you not trying to do that? Because you're imposing yourself by having the best attacking right back at your disposal and giving it to your best attacker in Harry Kane. You know what I mean? So now you take him. You don't even have him in the squad. You know what I mean? And you're having other guys who are they're not at that level. I think the only person who can cross almost to his level is Trippier. Trippier can also put in a good cross, but not like Trent, not the way Trent, because
No,
Trent whips it in with the pace that Beckham whips in across. You know what I mean? So I think you definitely need to have him. If you go behind in a game, you want to attack a bit more, put Trent on, replace whoever the starting right back was, and that's what you need to have. You need to have options. You can't have defensive-minded defenders only. You know what I mean? You have
But
something
this is the
different.
thing,
You know what I
though. I think, Cyril, this is the thing, and Darren mentions, him listening to Neville and what he says about Walker. But this is exactly when I heard Neville talking as well, and just the general English public. The thought is that England are going to step out and they're going to play this sort of what's the word? Not safe, but more or less a safe approach. They're not going to be expensive. They're not expected to be the top side. But when you're looking at these these young English players that are coming out, technically they're good players. So why don't they go out pound for pound and take them on and say, listen, we're going to try and dominate this game. We're going to try and play with the ball. We're going to do things. Because now you're going, if Trent isn't going to be on that, if he's going to be defending a whole game, you're not going to maximize the most out of him. Therefore, he's not going to be playing well for England like he has shown in the past. But if you're playing a progressive sort of game, an attacking sort of game, where you've got the likes of Grealish and the likes, going forward, all of a sudden, Trent Alexander is one of the best, if not the best, going forward at right back. So that's the whole thing. And I think at the end of the day, it's where where Southgate's going to go and what he's more comfortable with, and he's going to choose players that he trusts.
The English mindset is, man. They didn't include Neville and Carragher didn't include Jadon Sancho or Bukayo Saka in their 23-man squads. I couldn't believe it. I'm like, are these guys crazy in the head? How do you not include both, or if not at least one of those players?
It's too risky for the guy, man.
In your squad.
I think
so
Saka was injured, wasn't he?
No. I'm saying they are projected or predicted squads for the Euros. That's what they're saying.
Yeah.
So they say the squads they would take to the Euros. They didn't have.
They weren't in there.
And Saka, both from both of these pundits. And I'm like, are you guys mental? Are you guys crazy? You know what I mean?
Mindless.
Listen, man, they've got lots of talent. You know what I mean? But I feel that you need to always have your best players and players that also can impose themselves on the ball. You know what I mean? Saka and Sancho can impose themselves on the game very well. And it'll be a tough decision for Gareth Southgate, but we'll see what happens.
Yeah, look, this was meant to be a conversation about Liverpool Arsenal, so let's just kind of go back a little bit longer before we move over. Do you want to say something else?
It was you and Trent.
Yeah,
man.
Based
Wait,
on
do you guys think Darren says Trent to play three at the back, where Trent goes into the right-hand side, right? We are wing back. Yeah, that would make sense, but
that's cool.
Yeah, that would
cool,
definitely make sense.
Because then
exactly
they would play.
what he does, yeah.
Because they would play a back three of Walker, Maguire, and Stones.
Yeah.
And because obviously Walker provides the pace, and then Maguire will play off the left, and then Stones in the middle. That works as well. And then in the middle you play a Rice and who else, man? Play a Henderson probably, or you can even play a Mount. You can even play Mount and Rice together. You know what I mean? If you play three at the back.
But it looks like Mount's got a shoe in it. It doesn't matter where or how that guy's going to play.
Of course.
Man. Teacher's pet, but he's doing the job. But teacher's pet gets in there somehow. Yeah.
It's
okay,
nice,
Wong, you wanted to say something. You wanted to say something there, Wongs. Oh no, Wonga's playing the game there. What did you say? What did you say?
Wonga's playing a game there. He's like he's playing Tetris or something there.
Yeah, you in there, Wonga? You with us or you playing games? I don't know what's going on. Eh? No, he's not with us. All right, Cyril. But overall, the Liverpool sort of game against Arsenal. What are your thoughts? If we're going to look at an Arsenal perspective and then a Liverpool perspective, and then we'll move on. What do you think, Cyril?
I think, man. I think it was quite a good performance from Liverpool.
You guys hear me?
Definitely. Now we can hear you. They're definitely still in the top four race. I think obviously between themselves, Leicester, Chelsea, West Ham, and let's say Spurs. And Spurs, out of those five clubs, two of them will definitely get in. So if it's any team outside of those five, I'll be very surprised. So I'll be surprised if Everton got in. But yeah, those 5 teams are the ones, and I think obviously the ones that have been getting to top 4 are the ones obviously will be the favorites, which is Chelsea and Liverpool.
I got a question from an Arsenal perspective. Do you think Wonga keeps playing Tetris?
You play Tetris, yeah.
I don't know what's going on there. But do you not think Darren says it. I'm looking at the log here. 10th place, 11th place, Arsenal leads. They're both sitting on 42 points. Would it not just make sense for Arsenal to go get Bielsa? Get an old man to whip these guys into shape, bro. I don't know what's going on.
No. It won't work. I don't think it will work. Bielsa, man, needs to get a team that's like proper mid-table. Like when I see proper mid-table, I mean like not huge expectations on him. You know, he's coached like a Lille in the past. You know what I mean? Coached Athletic Bilbao, took Athletic Bilbao to the Europa League final. Having like Ender Herrera in his team, he beat Sir Alex on the way to the Europa League final. They just lost to Atleti in the final. He took Bilbao to Copa del Rey final and lost to, I think, Pep. You know what I mean? So he wants those kind of teams. You know what I mean? So I think that Arsenal is a team that has just a little bit too much expectation. But I think they should obviously
they haven't come to a realization yet, though. Eh?
Yeah, they haven't. But what can we do, man? You know what I mean?
It's like, look, for Liverpool for a long time, Liverpool shit. We all knew it. We all said, next season's our season. But we all realistically knew. I mean, when you have flipping, I can't even remember, Roy Hodgson as a manager, and you've got the likes of Paulson running out in centre mid and Jovetic up front. You just know your team shit. I think Arsenal, when it comes to that realization where they're not in the place right now where they should be expecting top 4. If they can get into top 7 at this moment in time, it'll be decent for them.
That's a win, yeah, true. Because Europa League still has at least quite a lot of money.
Yeah. Wonga, you with us?
No, fair, yeah. With you now. I don't know the high happened there, but fair comment.
He said now.
But like, even I was just trying to. I went back to your question on a. Was it Gary Neville? Was it not Gary Neville? It was Jamie Carragher's comment about Aubameyang and comparing him to Ozil.
Yes,
if Aubameyang as well as also this guy's been playing striker his whole. Borussia Dortmund days. I'm not too sure before that.
He played striker. I know he was playing. He played striker to Etienne as well.
Down the middle. Down the middle, right? But now, when he comes to Arsenal, he played also when he came to Arsenal. He played down the middle when he first got there, and he was successful down the middle. Now the next season, and I don't know if it is because he wants to accommodate Lacazette, because there was a time when Lacazette wasn't playing, and he was being disappointed. He was really disappointed, but Aubameyang was firing in the goals, And now we're trying to play Lacazette, but now it means we have to push Aubameyang out wide. And now you can see it's not where he's supposed to be, And I don't think it's him being lazy. I'm probably following what the manager told him to do.
But where's the fight? Where's the cause? You know what I mean? Like, where's the cause for the fight? Is actually what I wanted to say. Look at Firmino. Look at Firmino. Look at Firmino on the weekend. Look at him on the weekend. That guy does whatever's asked of him. Look at Fabinho. Did the same thing, playing centre back. Is that his best position? No. Suddenly he's playing his best position. We're seeing the best out of him. Where's the cause where, you're going to put in a shift for the team regardless of whether or not that's the position you want to play or that's the position you're best at playing. If the coach is asking you to do a job, it's because he needs you to do the job. And I actually heard something today where, they're looking at, when you're looking at sports in particular, they mentioned Messi. And they say, when you look at Messi and you compare him to a basketball player, obviously you only got 5 players in the team. If you have the best player in the league, the chances of him winning the game by himself is very high if you've got the best player. In football, it doesn't work like that. In football, you're as good as your weakest link, right? So at the end of the day, if you got someone, regardless of how good he is, who isn't putting his weight and, makes it like we did, like Liverpool scored for the second goal, makes a shit passing out from the back, your team's dead. So where's the commitment? Like that's a worrying sign for an Arsenal fan looking at Arteta, looking at what happened against Liverpool. It's this roller coaster show. There's only so much you can take. You expect them to go out against Liverpool, put some feet into tackles there, Get something out of something. You know what I mean?
See-
Get stuck in instead of getting bumped on the eye and then going down to the ground and going, oh, looking for something. Get up and keep going. Like for me, that's a frustration. And I'm not even an Arsenal fan.
Yeah,
No,
they
I
lack
get you
character.
because the thing,
No character.
you see,
Thank
that's
you, sir.
Arsenal.
Nothing.
Like that's you see when they had Unai, that was the same. Like it's the same thing that I flipping despised. It was they go out there and the team will roll them over, and there was no fighting them. The only player up till now that I can see wants to win a game and he'll fight even when they're losing is Tierney. He's the only player that I can see who does that, literally in the team.
Yeah.
He's the only player, but the others, they'll be confused. They don't know what's happening.
Bonga,
and you can just see if they're losing, it's bad. The only player I can see is Tierney. The rest, they're the same.
but isn't that worrying? Isn't that worrying for you? Because everyone's seeing it. Everyone can
It's
see. Everyone's
irritating, more
seeing
than
that.
worrying.
But no. Let me say the worrying part. Everyone can see Tierney's the only one doing that, and everyone now can see that Tierney is a great left back. Doesn't that worry you that another club's going to come in and say, "Oh, let's just sign him"? What's going to keep him at a club like Arsenal? Let's be honest. What's going to keep Tierney there?
That's been Arsenal's problem ever since. Even Roman van
Man
Persie.
City need a left back.
Same.
Yeah. You do incredibly well there.
You'll be wild
You'll
at
be
Man City,
fantastic
yeah.
there. All of a sudden, you'll be
Tierney will
in the top worlds.
Tierney will do
Yeah.
wherever he goes. That's the honest truth. But for me, that for me has been a problem with Arsenal for a long time now. Probably even just towards Wenger's last days and now. Like I was watching old matches with Arsenal versus Tottenham, the Arsenal versus Chelsea, the one that we watched together when we did that video shooting at Urban. And watching the game, like, yo, Oaks, this is not the same team. Yeah, we weren't winning the league, but we were top four. And I'm watching us, and I'm like, okay, surely we deserve to be in top four. Now, there's no ways. I mean, guys were saying before the game that they've got it. They want to win the game, and when you watch them play, you're like, there's no ways. Even the games that we have come out of with the win, it still hasn't been convincing. Like it's for me, it's frustrating more than anything else. Worry, no, it's frustrating. You just know when Arsenal concede, we concede the first goal always, and you're comfortable with this. It's cheese. Now against Liverpool was the worst. Now before Liverpool, I saw the highlights of the last time we played Liverpool. I see David Luiz pulling Salah, and I was like, "Yo, my man, what? Why? And I'm like, this can happen again. What happens?"
But let's also say that was a player hugely missed on the weekend. Was David Luiz there? But I do want to say this. I want to say Darren reckons that Leeds need another 3-4 years before they're challenging for Champions League. That's a hell of a dream there, Darren. I mean, a fan has to have one. So 3 to 4 years, we'll be looking out for that. We're also going to have to get you on the show at some point to talk about your team, Leeds.
He's a Leeds fan.
Maybe when they take on Man United. Yeah, huge Leeds fan. Let's talk about the next game, guys. I want to say this next one is a bit of a shocker. And when I heard the news, yeah, I know it's a bit crazy. When I heard the news, Chelsea, West Brom, Sebo came in and he's like, Claudio, he's like, did you hear the news? I'm like, yeah. No. And I thought he was talking shit. He's like, listen, West Brom beat Chelsea 5-2. And I thought you were completely lying.
Musa also didn't think I was being honest because, guys, amazing performance from West Brom, guys. They were on fire that day, guys. And I think Chelsea did not hit them. Chelsea was shocked. Chelsea, man, they scored the first goal, but after that, man, like in that first half, firstly, Thiago Silva, first game back, starting, he makes a lunge. After you're on a yellow card, how can you just lunge into a tackle like that? And then obviously, you make the listen, Claudio. I'm not saying
when I saw that, I was like,
I'm not saying he should have been sent off, right? I think the ref should have been lenient there and said that he was just trying to block the ball, obviously it's just a follow through and whatever. There's no malice, there's no intent to make a challenge that's a yellow cardable offense, right? But when you do that, you make you put the ref in an awkward position. Now the ref has to decide: is it a foul or is it not a foul? Yes, it's a foul. Is it a yellow card? It's not a yellow card. Then the ref decides a yellow card. That's the thing, is that if you get off your feet You know, you must always stay on your feet in football. If you get off your feet and you tackle someone, the ref, you putting him in an awkward position now, and the ref can just decide if he's giving a yellow or not. I don't even know that ref is. I haven't seen him ref much. He
Yeah.
seems like quite a newish ref. And yeah, and obviously it kind of changed the game, but still Chelsea shouldn't be conceding 5 goals against West Brom. No matter if you're down to 10 men, man. Like
Yeah.
yeah, you can't. You know what I mean? You
But
know,
also, do you not think this was a little bit of arrogance from Tuchel's side? Because when I'm looking back at it, they go down to 10 men, fine. But it takes very long to change things, and he keeps going the way he's going. And then all of a sudden, West Brom start believing, and they're like, yeah, we're going to get something from this. And they didn't even just get something. They could have scored more than 5 goals on that day. They were that good.
yeah, no, that's true. Like, it looked like everything was just clicking for West Brom. Those 2 goals at the end of the first half, from errors as well. It's 2 defensive errors. I heard that Tuchel made the team watch the highlights of the game. Watch especially the 2 errors in the first half from Zuma and Jorginho. Made them watch it, say, hey, watch. You know what I mean? So yeah.
What kind of implication do you think this is going to have on Chelsea for both the game against Porto coming up as well as the top 4 race? Does this plant a little bit of a seed of doubt in the back of their minds?
No, but I think it will help them not to be. It will help them not to be arrogant, right? Because you need to be brought down back to earth to say, okay, cool, guys, we are not the finished article yet. We still need to improve on X, Y, and Z. Whereas if you're still conceding, 1 or 2 goals in 10 games under Tuchel, whatever it was, then you're still gonna think, oh, guys, we're the best. We're the best team ever. We can do this. We can do anything. We can beat any side. And then what happens? You get exposed, and then yeah. So maybe it's better that they get exposed now, going into the Porto game, which is obviously a big game. I think Chelsea fans would love to get back into like a Champions League semi-final and dream, dream like
it's not going to happen though.
Dream like how Liverpool is dreaming. You know what I mean? That's all they want to do. They want to dream like how Liverpool's dreaming.
They can keep dreaming. The difference is it's going to stay a dream, because Sergio Conceição there from Porto is going to watch this game against West Brom, and he's going to be licking his lips and he's going to say, if they can do that at Stamford Bridge, just wait for my boys. Wait for me to unleash my Porto boys there, the little dragons. They're going to do something there. And I'm telling you, they're coming through this. It's not Chelsea.
I find it so weird. You are backing Porto, but you're a Benfica person, and they like, come on, man. Can't be doing that.
Yeah, I say this without my dad listening. I say this without my dad listening. My dad's not watching the show, so
you can't do this, bro. You can't be punting Porto when you're a Benfica person, man.
When you watch that Juventus game,
I've seen you wear Benfica jerseys. This is bad, man.
Hey man, I'm just calling what I think is going to happen. It's a cloud-just simulation. It's a cloud-just simulation. Like I said, my dad doesn't hear anything I'm saying on the show. And if he did, he'd be very appalled. But I think Porto have the makeup. They have the character. We talk about character, something again that Arsenal lack a lot of. Sorry, I just had to throw that in there. We talk about that, and we talk about, let's add the other ingredients that come with the Champions League. And leadership. And also just the fairy tale story. Like that's one of the, and you know why that's significant in any sort of league run or competition run is that fairy tale becomes a belief that the players then transcend out onto the field. That's the significant part of the fairy tale. When I say fairy tale, look at me talking like it's a scientific fact. But with every game you win, and the further you go in the competition, you start realizing there's one less game, and then you start believing more and more. And when you've seen West Brom do what they did to Chelsea at home, I'm telling you, those Porto guys are going, well, why can't we do that? Especially when they've done that to a side that in Portugal's mind, and I say Portugal because Porto from Portugal, but when a side has the Ronaldo, and that is the ultimate sort of player from Portugal, if they can do that to a Juventus, why can't they do that to a side that has Tuchel, who can't even finish in front of goal? I mean, that sort of, you saw that assist on the weekend that he gave Mason Mount. The Oak took a touch. His touch was so bad. He was still right in front of goal. He was afraid to shoot. He set up Mason Mount instead. Tuchel, he is broken.
Timo Werner. Why you say Tuchel?
Because he's baby German. He's German. Tuchel's son.
Oh, this guy. He's not, but no, but he's not an assassin like Tuchel. Have you seen? You know that photo that we posted with Tuchel with his turtleneck, looking like he's gonna kill someone. You know what I mean? Werner is so soft, man. I think after that miss that he made for Germany, that miss that must kill his confidence. They should be literally playing Giroud or Tammy Abraham if they want to go anywhere in this season, because Werner's not going to score a goal between now and the end of the season. He'll probably score one.
Yeah, man.
But even like with Chelsea, I also think they're a bit vulnerable as well. I mean, when they started, they lose. I mean, a losing streak always starts with the first loss. And this is
guys,
it,
that's why you can't go to any other show, because this is the type of philosophy that we have coming from the Cool Down Goal Lounge TV. The losing streak always starts with the first game that you lose. That's it.
That is it, guys. That is it, guys. That is the phrase, guys.
Yeah. Let's worry you. And he's speaking from experience here. Once you lose the one, and also technically us too.
And Chelsea,
I mean, Liverpool
they did it when Chelsea lost, they first lost to Everton, and
gentlemen, sorry, I just want to stop you. My nephews are on the line. Let's give them a little shout out to Noah and Cooper.
How's it? Is it because, you know, why does he call it TT, bro? TT, bro.
TT, it's I realize when you're saying it in English, it sounds quite bad. Yeah. No, because Tio is uncle in Portuguese. Tio. So then they just say TT for short for Tio. But yeah, now when you say it like that, hey guys, please, you guys are calling me
Tio
on live.
I know, man. Tio. Okay. Tio's uncle. Also, your nephew's there watching. No, man. What team does he support?
Oh, dude, you got to ask the question. Then I don't know about you either. Yeah.
Does he support Liverpool?
Of course, man.
Not by choice. I'm sure Claudio.
Not by choice. The day they were born, they got their Liverpool jerseys. I sang Liverpool songs to them while they were in their mother's stomachs. And their father supports United, Selo. Just putting that out there. That's called being a great uncle. Hey, Wonga, am I right?
That's what happens. But I'm not gonna say anything. I'm not gonna say anything further. But yeah, I'm glad that he's watching the show. We'll just make sure that we make sure we don't say any unsavory things going forward. But yeah, with Chelsea, man, let's see what happens with them, because the top 4 race is not done. Them Liverpool, as I said, Liverpool, West Ham, Spurs, and Leicester. Yeah, it's a dogfight.
Talk about dogfights. Newcastle managed to scrape a point there against Spurs. Hey, gentlemen, nothing. What do you have to say?
No, me, the funniest thing was in the group. I don't know what I was doing, but I just went in the group. Yes, Darlington is the best striker ever in the world.
He's the GOAT.
He's the GOAT. and then next things change. If that, typical Newcastle, if that. I was like, oh damn, that means they're losing now. You know what I mean? You know? And I was laughing so much. I was like, wow. Because I wasn't watching the game, but I was like, wow. Newcastle's doing what Newcastle does best. But I'm glad that they managed to get the draw, man. I think more than anything else, they needed that point. You know, that point is a victory for them, because obviously it gives them a 3-point buffer on Fulham, and they have got a game in hand on Fulham. So definitely it helps Nick in his cause.
Yeah, I mean, look, they've played 5 games and they've lost 1 of the 5. They've drawn 4. I mean, it doesn't really help them moving forward, which is a tad frustrating. But I think more question marks come out of the fact with Mourinho and Spurs here. I don't know, and you heard his comments afterwards where he said, same coach, different players. He's pretty much throwing his players under the bus like he does. Normally he self-destructs after 3 seasons. This is only, a season and a half, and the Oaks are already pushing all the buttons of eject. Maybe he wants to get fired so he can get the big payout. I don't know.
Yeah, man, it's not looking good, man. I think, what's the stat? They've 15
points in the last 15 minutes that they've dropped.
Yeah, from winning positions, you know what I mean? So we've seen it time and time again. Spurs going to the lead, and then just for some odd reason, they can't close out the game. Their defense is leaky. Their goalkeeper doesn't instill any confidence. But also, I also sometimes think as well is that sometimes the goalkeeper takes confidence from his defenders, right?
Yeah. No doubt.
So for instance, he looks much better
Possible.
playing for France because of his defense in France looks much better,
Yeah.
and his defensive shield looks much better. But now for Spurs, because of the back four is not amazing, like for him,
Yeah.
he just doesn't have confidence, and then his lack of confidence spills off into the defense, and the defense loses more confidence,
Yeah.
and just does like that. Yeah, so it's
Yeah.
just
Yeah.
not good.
I
So
mean, it
not a,
makes
not a,
sense, right? Yeah.
yeah, it's not a good combo for Spurs, man. Yeah, I don't know where to from here.
Yeah, Wonga, what do you think? Is Wonga playing Tetris again?
Tottenham didn't win.
What's going on?
Tottenham didn't win. So that's all I need, man. I mean, Harry Kane
That's
was
all you need.
almost. I mean, I was happy. I was exactly like Nick. I mean, I saw Jonathan score and I was excited. Yeah. Then, geez, Hayne literally humbled me in 3 minutes. Was it? I think he scored 36 and 38 minutes. Geez, I don't know. That
Yeah.
was flipping quick. But I won't lie to you. I am very glad with the result. Happy. Yeah, Newcastle don't. I don't think Newcastle needs to go down, especially with the insight that Nick has given me with what's really happening in that club. Yes, I wouldn't want to see them go down. It would be unfair to the players, to be honest with you.
Also, you know Rio Ferdinand. Sorry, he obviously has a good relationship with Mike Ashley because he sells his 5 caps.
Was it?
With in his store and all of the rest of it, and he's come out back. He backs Mike Ashley he's done it on more than one occasion, but he's come out saying, he's like, well, if Newcastle fans are so like upset about his ownership, why don't they go and they buy the club themselves? I mean, which is also a bit of a crazy sort of comment. Like, I mean, what kind of a stupid comment is that? I know we're kind of detracting from the actual issue there, but Rio Ferdinand coming out saying that, and now he's also trying to make his waves in the fan TV sort of thing. So I think he's trying to say these things. Yeah, I think he's trying to do it for clickbait.
I saw he's 5 whatever. I mean, Rio Ferdinand is an interesting character because he's also got a sports agency. So he represents like what's this guy? The guy they signed from Norwich, Everton. So he's got Michael Keane, and he's got the other guy, Ben Godfrey. He's got Ben Godfrey and Michael Keane on his books, and obviously they got contracts at Everton. So he's he's all over the place. You know what I mean? I think guys, you just need to speak up. If Newcastle's doing badly, speak up against Mike Ashley. You know what I mean? Mike Ashley's left them in a position where, you know, the fan base is not happy, not investing in the club, you know, not pulling the trigger on firing a manager who's done so poorly, you know what I mean, and not giving Benitez what he wanted when Benitez was in charge. You know, Benitez wasn't just a yes man, you know, so Benitez would have been the guy who probably would have taken them into a top 10. You know, they could have been competing with Arsenal now for number 10. But
yeah, definitely.
You know what I mean? So they've competing.
I think they'd be above Arsenal.
They'll be above Arsenal if Rafa Benitez was still there and with the players that he wanted.
That's too much, guys.
You know what I mean? You know, he signed Almiron. I think he's the guy who wanted to get Almiron. He got Almiron from the MLS and everything. You know, so he had great plans for Newcastle, but Mike Ashley, man, he just wants to sell the club. So Rio must just he's a Man United great, but hey, man, speak up. If someone's doing rubbish, speak up, man. Don't think because he's selling your caps. You know, cool. Mike Ashley is a great sports wear salesman, but come on, man, speak up.
Yeah.
But I was thinking now, while we're talking about Harry Kane and his excellence, you know, the man's got 3 years left of his contract. When is the right time to leave, guys? Because do you ever think that he'll ever win anything? You know what I mean? I think you look like a you look at a player. You know, you look at other players. You know, you need to ask yourself the question. You know, Man City needs a striker. You know, a couple of clubs need strikers. You know, Man United needs a striker. Man City needs a striker. You know what I mean? Chelsea needs a striker. Yes, people are talking about Erling Haaland, but Dortmund won for 150. You know what I mean? The release clause is only 75 million next the following season. You know, at the end of the following season. So I think most clubs will wait for that release clause to kick in. You know, isn't Harry Kane the person that people should be looking at? You know, But
I think
also, I think it'll be tough because Daniel Levy wants money.
Yeah,
I think
no doubt.
you're
And I think
right in
like
that
the
sense,
climate of the
Silo.
market. Yeah.
Yeah, so like you're right in that sense that he's already in the league. He's already in the league. He's doing the business. He's scoring against the guys. All these teams week in week out. Even the assists are there as well. I mean, if he's not scoring, then he's assisting. I mean, I think he's on top of both leaderboards, right? The
Yeah,
assists and the goals. And the same thing. Remember, Robin van Persie scored tons of goals for Arsenal. Next season goes to Man United, does the same thing. Difference is Man
he
United
won
can
it,
hold it
won a
on at the
league.
back, and then they end up winning the league. So definitely with any team, well, not any team, those top. Geez, I don't know who the top four now are. Hey, but anyways, those top teams in the league, if any of them buy Harry Kane, you're literally buying those goals and assists, I would say. So yeah, I think, and the best thing, I mean, he's not changing a country, he's not speaking another language. He's literally gonna have to do it here. But I mean, if he's at Tottenham, there's no. I think everyone knows Tottenham is not going to win anything, nothing major, and that for him, I think
Especially because
he
the rebuild
definitely
at
will want him to
Tottenham
win something.
just seems like such a mammoth of a task to rebuild that team right now. Especially even with Mourinho there, he's
Yeah,
going to
just rebuilt
demand
the
certain
club.
things.
I mean, the stadium.
Yeah, and like I think I've said this multiple occasions. They've just been super unfortunate with the whole, like most clubs have, but with the whole COVID scenario. I mean, they were in prime position. Had things gone according to plan, the money they would be making from the stadium alone would be able to help them compete in the transfer
Yep,
market. And that's also something
yep.
that Mourinho was gambling on when he took over. And now you're in the situation where
Mm.
you've mentioned it now, Settle. Daniel Levy's not going to sell this guy on the cheap. Any club coming in after him are going to be spending easy like 160 mil. That's what he's going to be demanding for. So him leaving at the end of the season, I don't see it. I don't think it's his choice really. I think he's going to have to stay another season at
Yeah.
Spurs unless there's ridiculous money thrown at it. But there's also now talks when we're looking at the possible suitors. We look at Man City. We look at obviously Real Madrid. We know that financially Spain aren't doing the thing at the moment. They're struggling. So realistically, you're looking at
They're also building a stadium.
they're also building. You see,
They're renovating their stadium and trying to make it bigger, with a roof
so
and
and
everything.
that money goes in there,
Millions,
and that's a tricky situation, especially now. Jerome, my brother-in-law says he'll watch United until the end. You're not even watching United now, Jerome. So I don't even know what you're saying until the end. Listen to that. I thought the end was already 10 years ago. Yeah, no comment there. But yeah, I was just saying, so realistically, you're looking at Man City, you're looking at PSG. Man City are realistically the only ones that will throw money like that, but they don't even throw money like that at players. They spend in the 50 to 60 million mark sort of region. So now there's talks of Lukaku, there's talks of Danny Ings. I wouldn't be surprised if Man City at the end of the season settle with a Danny Ings, because that way we know that Man City don't build their team around a striker. They don't need an out-and-out striker the way in which they set up. They just need a finisher from time to time. And technically speaking, when you're looking at the list of candidates, a Haaland, which if we're again talking about romanticism, Haaland's father used to play for Man City. He was supporting Man City growing up as a child. That would make sense. But again, they're going to be demanding the region of 120 million plus for a player like that. So it's an interesting sort of scenario. So don't be surprised if Danny Ings is the guy that they go to end of the season. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah, and I think they'll go for a cheaper. They might just back Gabriel Jesus as the striker, and go for a young cheapish option. I mean, maybe like a 21, 22-year-old somewhere, like that's doing well. I mean, I think there are players in other leagues. There are guys who are playing maybe in whoever the leading goal scorer is in Portugal, or whoever the leading goal scorer is in Belgium, whoever the leading goal scorer is, in Brazil or something like that. They could do that, because Lautaro Martinez, Lukaku's, Haaland's, all these guys are going to be 80 million pounds minimum. And I don't think teams are going to spend 80 million pounds on one player. The only team I think that it's got a lot of money to spend is Chelsea, guys, because their owner,
they're desperate.
When he wants to sign, he will just sign. PSG, they're worrying about trying to keep Neymar and Mbappe. Mbappe's contract ends next season. Neymar's contract ends next season, and already there's rumors of Barcelona going in for Neymar next season for free. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And then also Real Madrid going in for Mbappe next season for free. Imagine, you know what I mean? So they focusing on that. They can't even think about signing when they still need to keep their two best players.
Yeah. No, I agree. I agree with that 100%. And, to answer Darren's sort of question, where does he go, though? Harry Kane doesn't go anywhere. That's the question. That's the answer to that question, rather. Sorry, Darren. He's not going anywhere. He's sitting tight.
Because Spurs are not forced to sell. Forced to sell. Sorry, because he's got 3 years left, and I think if you get to a position where it's 1 year left, that's when Spurs are forced to sell. And I don't think Harry Kane's a player to say, "Hey, Daniel Levy, I want to leave. Transfer request. I'm sulking. I don't come to training." Harry Kane will never do that.
No,
he's the captain of England. He can't do that.
Yeah, I agree.
27.
Yeah, I can't. He's 27.
He's 27. 27, 2 years' time. Let's say they sell him in 2 years' time, 29. Yeah, but he's definitely going to want to win something, Oaks. And he's not going to get it at Tottenham. Jeez.
He's going to win the Carabao Cup in the next 2-3 years. And then, he's got his trophy. All right. Let's talk about the next one. Man United, Brighton. Celo. This was a good game, largely because Greenwood, in my opinion, gets onto the score sheet. They write it out. It's 1-1. They come towards the end. Some silky sort of touches there from Bruno Fernandes throughout the game. But regardless, Greenwood comes to the party. And, with England around the corner, doubt you'll get the call up because of what's happened previously, having girls in his room, etc., etc. But always good to see that talent score.
Foden got another chance, but I guess maybe it's a complexion of Foden's skin. But I won't say anything further. But man, I'm happy for Greenwood. Greenwood has been working hard, man. I think his performances are so much more matured now. As a player, you can see without getting the goals that he was getting last season, his performances are better, and he's affecting the game a bit. He's affecting the game more as a player, whether by scoring, creating chances. What happened? Did you delete him?
No, the man's playing Tetris. He's taking himself out.
It's not like you deleted him there, man. But
he's back now. He's back. Yeah.
But with Mason Greenwood, man, I think he deserves a goal. He's been working so hard. I remember there was a game where he hit the post. Which game was it? The game before the international break. He hit the post. He's just been playing well, man. So I'm happy for him. He scored also in the FA Cup against Leicester. So he's getting the goals. Whether he gets called up for England or not, I don't mind, guys. He's what? He's 19 years old. He's got quite a long future ahead of him. I think definitely next season, he'll be playing more in the middle. He'll definitely be playing more in the middle, which is his preferred position, and is where I would love to see him play. You know what I mean? So I'm definitely happy for him. With what Darren's asking, man, Darren, listen. All I'm gonna say is the media have an agenda to get Dean Henderson in goal, and they've gotten Dean Henderson in goal, and then now the agenda is to get De Gea out the club. So there's leaks of apparent stuff that De Gea is not happy, that De Gea said this, De Gea said that, and David De Gea has never ever in his career done anything like this at Man United. David De Gea, when Real Madrid wanted him, he never said anything saying that I want to leave. He just sat still in the corner and just said that it's up to the club what they decide. And he's never come out voicing out anything, David De Gea has the most appearances for any overseas player, for the most caps, the most appearances for an overseas player at Man United. Most appearances for an overseas for a person obviously outside the UK, that says a lot about him. Player of the year 4 years in a row. So I feel bad for him. He shouldn't be ill treated like this. Going into next season, one of them will have to go. And if it's De Gea, it's okay. I'll back the club, but I just don't like the treatment. I think if anything, a player needs to just be respected and treated well. Romero was also ill-treated as well.
Why do you say it's okay, though? Why do you say it's okay for him to leave? Do you think Jordan Henderson is at that level that he can actually take his place? Because a couple of weeks ago, you were saying De Gea is still the number one without question. Now, despite the fact that he's getting treated in this way, are you sure it's okay that he leaves for Henderson? Is Henderson ready for that role?
And that is one of the things with Henderson, right? Is that Henderson has great potential, right? But I certainly feel I would still want David De Gea at the club. I would rather have it in a situation where you send Dean Henderson out on a 2-year loan, right? A 2-year loan, to another club, right? In the Premier League, and that club needs to just, obviously needs to be a discussion to say that he's going to be number one, and he's number one at that club for two seasons. Then 2 seasons later he comes back to Man United, right? De Gea's contract will be done, and De Gea can leave for free. We don't mind. I don't mind him leaving for free, and then Dean Henderson can come back. He can go wherever you want. You know what I mean. So I'd prefer it to be in that way rather. You know what I mean? Because I feel that David De Gea should be Man United's number one still. And Dean Henderson, yes, he has potential, but also he's made errors this season. He made an error against AC Milan in the first leg with the save that he made. Was he flapped at the ball. He made an error against Sheffield where he kicked the ball into a player. So he's not the finished article yet. I think he's still got a long way to go. He was a bit shaky under the higher ball as well. So let's see what happens. But I definitely feel that David De Gea should be still number one. But hey, if the club decides one thing, we just have to get over it and back it. You know what I mean? Even though you're emotional about the player, because he's one of my favorite players at Man United, and he's a model professional. But it's unfortunate. He's even lost now his position as Spain number one because he hasn't played since the birth of his child, which is unfortunate. So which really sucks. You know what I mean? Because he went for the birth of his first child. He went to Spain. He came back probably. Yeah, there was one match before the international break, and he was on the bench. He was on the bench for it, and then international break they have 3 matches, and then Unai Simon from Bilbao was goalkeeper, and he was on the bench. So it's unfortunate, and he might lose his Euros spot as first choice keeper. But yeah, it needs to get resolved. But also,
that's harsh though, bro. That is another level. How you treat a player like that. I understand the circumstance, but for him to get treated that way, I'd leave. I'd say thanks.
To show you how rubbish of a club in terms of how we manage a club, how Man United is poorly managed, right? You give David De Gea a new contract, right? You make him the highest paid. You make him the highest paid player in the Premier League, right? Because he's the highest paid player in the Premier League. Then Dean Henderson comes back. You give Dean Henderson £120,000, and you're giving De Gea £380,000. That's £500,000 on your 2 goalkeepers. How are you paying £500,000 for 2 goalkeepers? That is madness. How the flip are you doing that? That doesn't make sense.
For years, United have been in that category. They've been paying. That's the problem. They're just paying players money, and they got random shitty players in that squad in their books.
And that is so stupid. I'm not saying they don't deserve it in their individual capacity, but to have 2 goalkeepers earning that much, then you still have Romero, who you didn't allow to go to Everton, who's earning 80,000, right? Everton wanted him.
Man just wants to play.
Yeah, he wants to play. He wants to be in the. He wants to be the Argentina squad. He wants to play.
Yeah.
You know what I mean. You cut. You say he can't go to Everton, and then you cut his last minute deal to Everton. So it's just so stupid in terms of how they do contracts. They just got the wrong people in the club running things, and it just shows with this mess. You know what I mean. Now where they even. And now we divided as a fan club, as a fan base. There's Team De Gea and Team Henderson, which is stupid. It should just be Team United at the end of the day.
No, it should be Devils United. They'll get the hashtag right. Devils United. That's the one we say on this show.
Devils United.
Looking at I mean, before David De Gea was your keeper, it was Van der Sar, correct? Your number one.
Correct, yeah.
Yeah, and if you look at even, Van der
Sar was opening up the history books. I don't know if you've noticed.
Always, bro. Always, he'll tell you about a match that happened in 1997.
Yeah, we're talking about the game that's happened this weekend. The man will tell us, no, 97.
Those are the good
Henry was hitting top ends.
When Henry was doing something.
It's a day to forget.
When Ian Wright was hot.
Yeah. Ish,
But look,
Wonga. Yeah.
look, Van der Sar. Van der Sar
We need to
was.
update his iOS there, Wonga. We need to update the iOS. Yeah, keep going, Wonga.
Van der Sar was. I mean, was a great keeper, and I think he was. I mean, he was. He was. I mean, Man United. I mean, Man United fans. I mean, any other fan would tell you that Van der Sar was a very good keeper. And to replace him was probably a task. And then they got David De Gea, and I think it was a good replacement for him. But even David De Gea, he did his work. I mean, he was. I think the season before he just played 34 games. He played a full season for
He was at
Atletico
Fulham.
Madrid.
Atletico.
Atletico. Before he came to Man United, he was playing Atletico. I think the
So
season
when Fulham
before.
and Atletico.
Yeah. Who?
At the age,
David De Gea.
Anyway, just
at
keep
the age of
going.
tw-
Just keep going.
at the-
Sorry,
at
I'm
the
thinking
age
Van
of
der
20
Sar. My bad.
No, Van der Sar. I'm thinking about the David De Gea
Yeah.
is playing 2 years. He was there at Atletico. Atletico, they top three, and I think even then they're still top three in Spain.
He won. I think he won Europe. I think he won Europa League with them.
Yeah, and he was exceptional. I mean, even then they managed to replace him with a good keeper, but I mean he did his work. I mean definitely that was at the time he was the perfect replacement for a guy like Van der Sar, and that's not an easy keeper to replace, and he did his job. And now you see, I'm just thinking now, people now they're comparing this guy to. I mean, sure, yes, you can't compare him to what he was doing before, but still now he's still a good keeper, David De Gea. And I agree with Selo, you can't be. I mean, geez, I mean, yeah, Henderson. I mean, he's okay. I mean, but I don't think he's the same as
He's not,
as
man.
De
He's
Gea.
not there.
He's not the same. He's not there. He's not there. David De Gea is, for me, he's definitely, you could say,
Guys,
best keepers in the world. You
He's
can't put Henderson.
he's the only guy in the United squad, United current playing team that's won the Premier League. Only guy who's won a Premier League. Only
Yes.
only person
And
who knows how to
that's
win
the
a
player they're gonna let
United.
go.
And they want to let go of the guy who knows how to win a Premier League at Man United.
Unbelievable.
It doesn't make sense. It's a
No.
madness that is Man United, the club.
That's the player the coach should be drawing, like leaning on.
It doesn't make
to help
sense how
guide the rest of the other players. That's what the coach should be
Yeah.
doing.
But you see, what I'm trying to get to is like is that thing of you replaced Van der Sar with David De Gea, and David De Gea was like the only replacement, and now you're saying Henderson, like the guy was playing. I got you.
To be fair-
Shrewsbury, Grimsby. Come on,
Exactly.
come on.
But to be fair,
Look
though,
at the
guys,
history of the two.
I suppose it's not identical. But I
You
was going to
can't-
say maybe he's thinking, Alex Ferguson at the time he brought De Gea into England. It was a huge gamble, and he took at least a season and a half to acclimatize. And maybe he's thinking the
But he
comparison.
was the perfect replacement.
But it reminds me of what Rodgers did at Liverpool when he came in. He got rid of all the older players because he wasn't confident enough to handle the more senior players, and maybe that's also along the lines of what Solskjaer's trying to do. Yeah. That's what it kind of reminds me of. And look how it turned out for Rodgers. He ended up leaving. Now he's doing all right at Leicester. So next game we're going to talk about, guys, Wolves West Ham, and the only reason we're going to talk about this is because the hot topic, Jesse Lingard.
Jay Lings, he is on form. He's on form. Ballon d'Or candidate. He's on form. He's on form. That guy, guys, that solo run has to be a contender for goal of the season, guys. Ah, wow.
But even was it the third goal when he passed the ball in? There were like five players
around him. Guys.
I swear, everyone was around him. Then still got the ball through. Everyone was panicking when the guy got the ball.
So I've got a question: Is he playing? Is he playing for a United career, or is he just loving life so much in London at West Ham that he's just enjoying it?
I promise you.
So you think he's not playing for something else? He's just living in the moment now.
Nah, the way he's playing now, like he's just like the way he's not even. You can see it's not that he's just like hard grafting and trying to prove a point. No, he's flipping enjoying himself, getting the ball from the middle. I mean, other players probably would have passed to Antonio there. There was similar thing that Son did, but I mean, you can see the guy's loving it. I mean, he's enjoying himself, bro.
He's got so much confidence, and I think people on Twitter, man, like to say, he shouldn't have left Man United, whatever. Or you guys could be using him right now, guys. He had to
What's he playing?
leave so that he can shine. You know what I mean? If
Yeah.
there's no space for you in the starting 11, for your current club, you go elsewhere, you shine elsewhere. Then you decide at the end of the season whether you want to leave or not. He's 29 years old, guys. He went to the World Cup as a starter for England. He deserves to be playing regularly in the Premier League for a top 8 team. You know what I mean? That's what Jesse Lingard, the type of quality, top 7, top 8 team. You know what I mean? So at the end of the season, Man United must just make some money. You know what I mean? Too often we hold on to players, sell him 25 million, 30 million pounds, give us the money, and then bye bye. Thank you for your time. Great United servant from the academy, and we wish you well. And it's okay, you know. We don't get
Yeah.
emotional. Man United fans are happy for him. We want to see him. We want to see him do well. You know what I mean? There will be no hard feelings, you know, about it. You know, there's no animosity, and he can go and do and have a good time. And also he had family issues. You know, about a year or two ago while he was still in Man United, there was some family stuff that was going on in his life. You know what I mean? That obviously, you know, didn't help him. But now he's
Yes,
thriving, and he's back in the England squad as well. So I wish him all the best at West Ham. And hey, if West Ham also don't have the money as well, we can do a Jesse Lingard plus 40 million for Declan Rice. I don't mind.
You've
I don't
been
mind.
saying that. You've been
I'm
shouting
there.
it off the
I'm there.
rooftop.
Declan, I'm there. 40 plus JC for Declan Rice.
Yeah.
I'm easy.
I
It's
mean,
similar.
that's
You know what's his name? I don't. Oh yeah, I'm jumping back to Arsenal. But do you remember Alexis Sanchez as well? When he played for Udinese, and then he went to Barcelona. And at Barcelona, yes, the last season, I think he scored 19, 20 goals. The last season he played there, I think it was 3 years. But he wasn't the main man at at Barcelona. But at Udinese, he was playing very well. Yeah, he wasn't getting the goals, but you could see he was like sort of the main man there. He went to Barcelona, okay, they humbled him a bit. He has to play behind Messi, all those other guys. Then he went to Arsenal, main man. Now back at Arsenal. Now Arsenal, he was main man at Arsenal. Banged in the goals. He was consistent with that as well. Went to Man United. It was a different thing. Wasn't enjoying it. Why? Because he's not the main man there and everything. I mean, probably other things as well, but I think that's also a factor there is that he probably wasn't the best player there when he's moving into his teams and boom, flat down. Jesse Lingard, he's not. He's probably when you look at Man United, he's just another player. You know, he's filling in. You know, he's just another player. Goes to West Ham, he's not just another player now. It's like he's the player. And he probably knew that going there, and I think that's just worked well. And he's enjoying it. Look, that's the one thing I like. He's enjoying it.
He's got a social media following. He can back it up on the field with performances. He's got heart. He shows great heart. He runs. He's a good presser of the ball. He can score goals. He can assist. So yeah, man, he's doing well at a club like that. And hey, man, he must just be honest with himself. He wants to enjoy the last couple of years of his last couple of years of his career. Get a 4-year contract at West Ham. Then he's 33. Then yeah, I mean that's all good. You know, you can't go back to Man United and then, where Man United is trying to integrate youngsters and trying to sign people. You know what I mean? You're gonna go fall down the picking order.
Yeah, no, you're right. I agree with you.
Yeah, it's definitely living the life there, man. Also, sometimes when you're going through that dip, all you need is a change of environment, and it seems like it's done him wonders. So let's hope it keeps going for him, because I like seeing him in a West Ham shirt. I don't like the fact that obviously they're in the top 4 spot at the moment. I'm happy with the fact that he stays there. If Liverpool get into top 4, then I'm okay with it. But if they don't, then he needs to go back to United and make them shit again. All right. Leicester 0, Man City 2. This is the one we need to talk about. Why? Because I think it's 4 games. If they win the next 4 games, the league is wrapped up. I mean, it's pretty much wrapped up already, but then it's official. They finish
win the next 4.
When they win the next league title with 4 games to spare. I mean, what did you guys think about this game in the end, the Leicester Man City game?
It's exactly what I thought it would turn out. I can't lie to you. I thought, look, Leicester, yes, they're going to go on the counter, and sure enough, they could have actually they had the opportunities to score, but I just didn't think they were going to be strong enough to beat Man City. Man City have got the last 27 games. They've lost they've won 26 and they've lost 27 games. And that's all competitions. They win, not even a draw. They lost to Man United when they decided to give them the win. I don't know what reason, but
we've got his number, bro. We've got Pep's number, bro. Pep's number, bro. Always got Pep's number. All I told you, you can only play one match this season. I'll put R1 million on it against Man
That's the
City.
only reason why United still have him, just so they can be the main team in Manchester. That's the only reason. They don't give a shit about trophies or anything else. It's just so they can be the best team in Manchester. That's it.
But you're watching it. I mean, I watched the game, and the first half, like even the way De Bruyne described it, they were all over them. And you could see De Bruyne's fit. Even when De Bruyne was talking, it was almost like, they were. The way he said they were lucky, they were fortunate, like they survived. They were lucky to survive that first half. Those are like, I don't know if you didn't use those words, but that's how he put it. They were lucky to survive that first half, and then he's like, second half they got caught up to them, and the better team at the end of the day won the game. And I mean him, especially, he had a good game. I think his passes were.
That pass, guys, to Jesus.
Yeah, they almost cocked it up, but
yeah, obviously Sterling lacks composure, guys. There's nothing that Raheem Sterling, guys. There's not one player that irritates me the most like Sterling, guys. Shows glimpses.
But to give him credit, though, Sterling used to be what was worse when he played for Liverpool. He used to get into positions and he would skyrocket things. He came to Man City and he's fixed it. Not fixed it, but he's made it better.
He's improved at City, but still, he still lacks that thing, man. I always feel that Sterling, guys, Sterling is a good player, right? But then in the big games, Sterling is nowhere. That's why Sterling has never scored a.
Just bring him back to Anfield. I know. I love seeing him play at Anfield. He does nothing there, even without fans.
Never scored a goal against Man United. He's only scored his first goal recently against Liverpool. You know what I mean? He struggles in the big matches. Against Lyon in the Champions League, what does he do? Hits it up in the air. But
that was crazy.
He's always been terrible in the final third, man. He's been terrible.
This decision making, man.
But that's what I'm saying. Like, if I'm looking at Saka,
yeah.
So where Saka's at in the Arsenal team he's in reminds me very much of where Sterling was at when he was at Liverpool. Except Liverpool, you could argue, were a little bit better. Obviously, he was playing with the likes of Suarez, so hugely better. But the difference between a Saka and Raheem Sterling, where I'm looking at them, is Saka can do a lot more. And I think maybe his issue, and he's better in the final third. But the only issue that he has is that he's more versatile. And that's ridiculous. It's crazy that his versatility is actually the thing that's killing him. That's the difference between the two players, in my opinion. Saka's got a huge future, and it's not at Arsenal.
Don't anger Wanga. Not anger Wanga, bro. Don't anger Wanga, bro. Don't anger Wanga. Don't anger Wanga. Wanga's gonna be like, what's this guy saying? He's trying to take my best player. Next thing he's gonna be saying good things. We said already about Cheney. Now we're saying something about Saka. Now we're saying about his two best players. We're taking them away from him, man. He's not gonna hate.
They're not staying in Arsenal, though. That's the thing. They're not staying there. They're not. Anyway, about Man City, guys. I just want to. Yeah.
It's 1920. It's still a long. I mean, to say to stay. I mean, if he stays for the next 4 years, I mean, that's good. That's good enough.
Definitely. I think for his development, he should definitely stay at Arsenal for another 3 years. But then after that,
development club must develop the players then, and send them to the big boys when they need them.
Exactly. So they can go. He needs to play Champions League football at some point in his life.
Guys, quadruple. Is that on the cards for Man City? I mean, they're facing Dortmund tonight. By the way, for those of you who don't know, I mean, and I'm telling my nephews here, Real Madrid, Liverpool tonight for the Champions League, but tonight, Man City versus Dortmund as well. Do they overcome this sort of obstacle, this hurdle? And is the Champions League realistic? We know the Premier League's wrapped up, but is the Champions League realistic for Man City? Wonga shaking his head.
If it's realistic for Liverpool,
who's there?
Well, that's a fair argument. Difference being, we don't have a psychological block, guys. We don't have that. What, you're going to have Kevin
Yeah,
De
why
Bruyne
not
coming
get
out
to
saying
the team
afterwards, same, different season, same sort of nonsense again. That's what he said
He
last
will say
season.
it
He looks
again.
defeated.
Yes,
He will say it again.
I know that.
If they meet Bayern Munich,
I know that's what they said last season. But I feel, listen, Man City have a great chance of doing well. I think, yeah, man, they just need to obviously get over that psychological barrier of the quarterfinals with Pep. You know, yeah, man, I think they can go all the way, but a quadruple is tricky because
Won't they
sometimes
be
you
the
get to.
first side in history to do that?
They would
Correct.
be the first. They would be the first team to do that. So I hope that they don't do it. I hope that Spurs beat them or someone beats them in the FA Cup. Yeah, someone must just do the FA Cup and then Champions League. I think that one is obviously a tougher task to overcome. The FA Cup and the League Cup are a bit easier because you already only have one more game in the League Cup and then FA Cup. I think
They
it's
got the
two,
treble sorted.
yeah, two more games,
Yeah.
whatever, and then the league is already done. So Champions League will be tough. Yeah, and then the other one's a bit easier.
I
So
think.
let's see.
Yeah, I don't think even if with. I mean, yeah, I think they're happy that they're in they're in those cups, but as a it just. I mean, I think it just depends how you motivate your players and how you look at it. I mean, if you're gonna be telling them, I mean, let's try 104, and then they lose one, and you're like, yes, it's now in another final, then you go like, boom, get out that one. Then have you started a domino
Domino
effect
effect. Yeah.
on your things? I mean, like the one when Wenger was asked when they won the league undefeated. Before they won the league undefeated, they asked him if he thought it was possible, and Wenger said right there and then, yeah, why not? We can definitely win the league undefeated. There's a lot more he said, but I'm just putting up that he put his foot there right there and then and put out in the open that that's what he was aiming to do. And I think they still had a couple of games left, and they actually then won it. Pep can come out.
Yeah,
If they're asking Pep now, I don't think he's going to tell you that he wants to win all four, but the possibility is
the
there.
focus, Champions League. He's got Premier League wrapped up, so the focus would be
League,
Champions League. Yeah, so he doesn't mind. He's going to play his fringe players for the other two trophies. If he gets what he gets, then it's a bonus.
He's won. He's obviously got to have, what's this guy, the American goalkeeper, Zach Steffen, as the goalkeeper for the League Cup final. He's started all the other games. Yeah, he's gonna start him. You'll see your who else? Who's a player that doesn't play often? Like Ferran Torres. Those type of players will be playing these games. Because you don't want to burn out. I think also depends by when do you seal the Premier League. Because if you get opportunity to seal the Premier League, because they're playing Chelsea in the FA Cup semis on in the middle of the month. That's also a tough game. Tuchel will be thinking that he can also win that cup. So he's got a bit of some tough hurdles. Jose wants to prove a point. Harry Kane wants to win a trophy. You know what I mean? That we said that's Harry Kane's Premier League. So if
Mourinho will take that as well. He'll take that as a huge win. If he can get the Carabao, that's a feather in his cap that he'll be flaunting like it's nobody's business. And he'll come out saying it will top the second place finish with Man United as his greatest ever achievement. He'll say that. You watch.
You'll say that.
100%. That's exactly.
So we'll see what happens though.
Yeah.
And that's interesting what Darren is saying there. If Pep wins Champions League, he's out. And I mean, I think that's what everyone said. I mean, you remember when at Bayern Munich? I think that's what everyone said. Did he win with the Bayern Munich? I don't think he did.
No, he didn't.
Three
semi-finals.
Yeah, and then he's just like next one. But I think I agree with Darren. I think if he wins it, I think if he doesn't leave that this year, he'll leave definitely the year after, probably because someone else.
Gentlemen,
the question is where.
Look who's decided to turn up. Look at this, Marcus.
At the last, I think Marcus just got back from Limpopo. I think because he was in mad traffic since yesterday. So I think he just only got home now.
Cometh the hour, cometh the man. Welcome, Marcus. Man City's best chance to win the Champions League this year. True. And you know what the irony about that is? If they do win the Champions League, it's going to be no different to Liverpool winning the league last season and celebrating it with no fans. So I actually wouldn't mind that, to be honest. But also, Also, I
But they
don't
don't have
think
fans.
I don't think Pep's got it, and also just shows how difficult the Champions League is to win. When a manager like that, with the players and teams that he's had over the last few years, I don't know. Possibly it's the psychological block that he has personally that is translating into those squads. I don't know if that's a possibility, guys.
But I mean, look, I think even looking at that, Claudio, Pep with all the teams. I mean, I don't think there's a team in that Champions League or even the league, or obviously the league as well because they're on top, that has a better record than him
Wait,
this season.
why
Like I
is
said,
why is Marcus
20.
saying why is Marcus saying no one can afford him? Does he know how much Atletico pay Simeone? That
I
guy
don't think he
earns,
does. Please enlighten him. Enlighten
he
Marcus.
earns
He's
10
informed.
million, 10 million more than Pep. Pep is the second highest paid manager. He earns 10 million more. Simeone earns 32 million.
Marcus, you are
32
welcome.
million.
You're welcome.
Pep,
These are the
Pep
facts we
only
get here.
Pep,
We
Pep only
educate the
earns
likes
20,
of the
guys.
viewers.
Shut
Yeah.
up.
Thank you, Simba.
Guys,
Please.
he gets paid a lot. Yeah. So he can Atletico Madrid definitely can afford him.
Yeah, no
Yeah.
doubt. No doubt. So, not that
No,
no one
I
can
agree.
afford him, Marcus. Come on, man. All right, gentlemen. I think before we go, where would you rank Sergio Aguero in the history of the Premier League's top strikers?
Top 10.
And yeah, top 10. Where would you rank him?
I say top 10. I think
Just there, top 10, somewhere.
I think there's when you're looking at the best or the greatest, there's the goals, then there's the titles, right?
Mm-hmm.
Alan Shearer has the goals, but only has one title at Blackburn, right? He only won the league at Blackburn. You look at Wayne Rooney. Wayne Rooney has goals and assists and titles. Henry's
Emphasis
got
on the
Henry's got the same with as Rooney basically. He's got goals, assists, and titles. So I definitely feel that So I think Aguero can definitely be in a top 5 as Darren has alluded there, with a top 5 with Henry, Rooney, Shearer, and the fifth person. I think the fifth person is tricky. Should it be Drogba, or should the fifth person be like an Andy Cole, or so one of those older guys?
Andy Cole in the top 5.
I'm asking. I'm not saying he's top 5. I'm asking you. I
regret asking this question with 5 minutes to go of the show left. I feel like this is a show in itself.
No, but
we need to unpack all of this.
But do you agree? But do you agree with the top 4 that I gave out? I said Shearer.
Yes. Number 1,
Shearer, Aguero, Rooney, and Henry. And
Henry top 4. Yeah.
Those 4 guys.
Van Nistelrooy could be thrown in the mix too, there.
Yeah, so a lot of players can be thrown in the mix, and I think definitely that also Drogba can be thrown in, guys. Drogba was a BMT player, you know what I mean? He was not a guy who scored a lot of goals. He was a guy who scored goals in very big games. I think
But that's what you need from a top striker.
Exactly.
He came in there, he won the first ever league title, he'll forever, for that reason alone, for transforming the club and getting them across the line, he should have a statue outside of the stadium.
Exactly. He's got 12. I think he played like 12 finals and he scored in 10 finals. 10 out of 12 finals. That is ridiculous output. You know what I mean?
That is 100%.
Marcus, top 5, baby.
Yes, Marcus. Nice one. Throw Bobby in there.
Yeah, I will. Don't even tempt me, because I will do it. We will have a 30-minute or an hour and a half show, and I will justify for 30 minutes why Bobby deserves to be in the top. Don't even tempt me, Marcus. I feel like, that one there. Wanga, what are your thoughts there?
But Bobby's
I agree with him.
Bobby's not even top 3 at Liverpool.
So
I think for me, and even Claudio's favorite man, Carragher, said it. Number 1 would definitely be Henry. I think Carragher said it because he always made him look silly. But I think definitely Henry.
Always. You know how many times Henry made me cry when he made Carragher look stupid? He made me cry, actual tears, because Carragher looked like an idiot. I actually don't know why now that I think about it, but damn, yeah.
And watching Henry, I mean, even with the titles he played, even with the titles he won, but even watching him, I think even you thought this guy was ahead of his time, you know. Sort of like a thing watching Messi and them. But yeah, I agree with Solo's reasoning. In terms of with placing Aguero, you can't. I mean, the titles have to be there. Henry also was. If it wasn't for Ronaldinho, Henry would have a Ballon d'Or.
Yeah,
but I think all is finished behind Ronaldinho. But yeah, I think that's exactly why I place Henry number one. But putting Aguero somewhere definitely falls top 10. Definitely falls somewhere.
The sad part is you'll get a player like Harry Kane who will probably end up in the top 3 of goals in the Premier League. Harry Kane will probably end up in top 3 if he plays from now until, let's say, 34 in the Premier League. But he doesn't have a title. Shearer at least had one title with Blackburn, at least one.
He has to win. And then also, take Shearer into consideration. He went from the best team and he chose to go to boyhood club Newcastle, and he still did the business with a shit team.
Yeah.
That's with also the difference.
Yeah. That's true. Yeah. That's true. He still got Newcastle to top 4, top 5. I think it was a season they even ended second. You know what I mean? I with Shearer up front. You know what I mean? So definitely he did a lot for that club. Without him, there's no Newcastle.
So Darren mentioned someone I wanted to throw in the mix, guys. Bergkamp. I mean, we've mentioned some good names there, but Bergkamp
he's underrated. He's definitely underrated, man. I think, his skill set was second to none. No one can. Yeah, things that he could do on the field, no one else could do, and he was such a. And
he also didn't place him as a. He wasn't like a striker. He was like and he was definitely. I mean, assisting a lot, you know, as well.
Yeah. But I think when you're looking at a Bergkamp, you know that at least 3 of his goals are in the top 10 greatest Premier League goals scored in the history.
Yeah.
That's the difference.
100%.
That's the always. Maybe the frequency wasn't there, but those goals were just wow.
Always.
Yeah.
Always.
Beautiful. Even his last goal he scored for Arsenal, I still remember it. Can't remember playing home or away, but
please tell us, Bonga. Tell us the man whipping out the history and the facts. That's why you're here. Tell us. If I were you, I'd also be focused on those days.
I even remember.
Guys, if I watch an Arsenal game, the best thing to do is go to YouTube and watch a match from watch a match from 10 years ago, because it's just depressing. It's the only thing to stay sane supporting this team. Sure.
So now we know what Bonga does. Like with past girlfriends, you know, when he's single, he goes back and he thinks about the good times. That's what it's about. Gentlemen, before we go, final thoughts.
Final thoughts.
What is my final thought?
Is all the best, Wanga, into making the top 7.
My final thought is Real Madrid 2, Liverpool 0.
Okay, I'm just going to put this out there. I'm going to ignore that. But right now it's split. I put a poll out on Instagram, and it's 50-50 between Real Madrid and Liverpool. That's what they're saying. And then for the Man City game, it's 70-30 Man City's way for Man City Dortmund. And that's pretty much the thoughts of the people following us on Instagram. Let's see how that pans out. Gentlemen, thank you very much for joining me this evening. And thank you to everyone who was online, from Darren to Marcus to Cooper, Noah, as well as Jerome with the odd sentence, and whoever else was there. We thank you guys very much, and we'll see you on Thursday for
Pre-match Muti.
You know what, Silo? You're going to have to open that one up as well. You're going to have to open up that show. And also, gentlemen, if you don't know what it be...
Cheers, Darren. Be cool.
Be cool.
Yes. All right. Have a good evening, guys. Thank you very much. Cheers. Bye.
Cheers.
Cheers.